Check Swing Podcast. You're all right. Welcome back to the Check Swing Podcast. It's Wednesday night. It's 9 o'clock, and now all the fire trucks are decide they want to leave. So I guess they're celebrating us too, and they want to blow their sirens. But it's sports talk at its finest. It's baseball talk at its finest. You guys know what we do. You guys know how we are. We like to have fun on this show. We like to talk about some serious topics, some serious issues, and I'm sure we'll have all of that on this show today. But without further ado, let me introduce my man, Coach Santa over there. How come our names aren't up here? And I did something to the settings, man. I might have to change some stuff in the settings. But Coach Santa, you know I like to start the show. How you been, brother?
I have been well, sir. The theme for tonight is my back, my neck, and my back. Sunday, we successfully moved into our new home in Northeast Baltimore.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. It took, it took the help of some really good people, some great family members that were able to get some help, some assistance. Um, so I'd love to call out the Parker family who actually allowed us into their home for 6 months while we saved money to, you know, find our home and, kind of sheltered us. They were gracious. They were just awesome and, um, very humble to, make their acquaintance and, um, you know, just want to publicly thank them and even helping us with the physical move because I had to drive a U-Haul over the course of I think 65 square miles.
Woo.
Because when you book the U-Haul, they say okay, well we'll double confirm within like a day, and then the day before they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we don't have your truck. It's like, where is it?
Of course.
So they copped us the miles, but we had to go an extra 30 miles out towards DC to get it. Then I had to drive to White Plains. Then I had to go back to Bowie, and then finally up here to Northeast Baltimore. But
So you
uh,
always anything worth having is always going to have its challenges. So it definitely
absolutely,
means that that house is worth it and it was meant for you because it doesn't come without a challenge. Anything that comes good. But congratulations to you and the family, man, and I can't wait to crash on your couch and dig my feet into your cushions.
well we're kind of going millennial style, so it'll be one of those like what are they called, those feng shui Fu Manchu kind of setups. So you'll probably be sleeping on like a pea and a haystack or something, but it'll be great on your back.
That's cool. You probably are not aware of some of the places I've slept. So yeah, that's cool. I've told the story where I've slept in a 92 Plymouth Sundance with three other people. So it's all right.
We'll have to stop that story there, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't want to take it too far. We got a lot to talk about. I actually left my notes over here, so I'm gonna give me a second. Actually, the cord I got it charging, so the cord's not going to extend. But um, we got Phillies talk. We got baseball talk in general. We got a couple other things. I'm trying to remember the notes off the top of my head, but I'm gonna start off with this one right here. Start off with this one right here. Alec Bohm. Now, let me just say, I was at this game. I went to this game. This game was 2 days ago. Um, and Alec Bohm was bad. Okay. He just had a rough day in the field, three errors, resulted in 3 runs. And he was just bad. And then of course he was seen on camera mouthing, I guess you would say, the mouthing of a phrase saying I effing hate this place. Of course, he was being booed. He's in Philadelphia, so he was getting the Philadelphia cheer. They call it the Bronx cheer, right, in New York, but he was getting the old Philadelphia support. We let you know when we don't like what we see out there, and some people are able to deal with it, and some people are not. Um, but in this case, this one was a little different than ones in the past. Alec Bohm did not ask to be sent out of town after he got booed. Alec Bohm lived. He lived up to. I'm not lived up to it, but he owned it.
He owned it. Yep.
He owned the statement. He said the emotions got the best of him. Um, and he said he wants to be here. He said he loves it here. I get you got to say that. Miguel, my question to you is: do you believe him? What was the real statement? The post game statement or the end game statement?
So the in games. So the funny thing was, I think there were some what do they call them, apologists out there. Well, did he really say that? He could have been saying, I want fried something. I want fried beans. you know, um, but post game, they said, it looked like you said, I hate this effing place, and he's like, and he owned it, like you said. He said, I said it. So there was no, no dispute. It was said. Um, but I think when it comes to Philly fans, we always have been. If you can be just straight up, no BS. I think that's the thing that Bryce Harper got right off the bat. Even when I think prior to either the first game of the season or one of the games, him and Nicholas Castellanos, they got the Silver Slugger Award. And Bryce Harper even says, like, listen, you boo us when we suck because we deserve it, but you got our back no matter what. So
Mm-hmm.
I think Alec Bohm kind of took a page out of Bryce Harper's book. He's like, listen, I messed up, got the emotions got the best of me, and he owned it.
I'm
Now the
willing to say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, so and then you had was he 2 nights ago? He comes up to pinch hit and he gets a standing ovation. You know what I
Because
mean?
they loved what he said. I
They
mean,
love
people.
what he said. He
You know,
owned
if
it.
if you try to wilt away from it, nah, that's not what I said. No, he owned it, and here in Philadelphia, we appreciate that. You know what I mean? You can say what you want to say. Now, we don't like when you talk bad about us, but if you own it, you live up to it, and you kind of apologize for it in a sense, and you know, you can still be loved here in Philadelphia. Certain athletes here in Philadelphia could have continued to be loved if they just kind of took that route. And I kind of believe that Bryce probably said something to him when that happened. He probably I would hope Bryce being a team leader and whatnot. I would hope that he kind of figuratively put his arm around Bowman and had that conversation. Like, look, it's Philadelphia. Look, you're having a bad game. Everybody knows it. Everybody sees it, and this town is intelligent. They are going to let you know when they don't like something, but understand that they are going to still love you. It's for a moment. Tobias Harris for the Sixers had some moments this year where the you know city of Philadelphia was really on his case, and he was just playing bad. But of course, when he plays well, standing ovation for Tobias Harris. I mean, it is what it. Ben Simmons wouldn't shoot the ball. What happens when he shot and made a 3-pointer? Standing ovation. Like, people, Philly is misunderstood in that sense. Really misunderstood. Like, we love our teams passionately, and we I'm not going to say that other cities are not like this, but if you're into the Phillies, if you're into the Sixers, Eagles, Flyers, Union, Wings, Kicks, whatever, I don't even know if the Kicks still exist. Soul, I don't even know if they still exist. The USFL teams up the Stars, whatever. If you're into that team and you're in Philadelphia, you're probably going to know about contracts. You're probably going to know about salary cap. You're going to know if you can be a common fan, and a common fan in Philadelphia is more ingrained into the team than the common fan in maybe Miami
But
or Atlanta.
are we really misunderstood though?
I think so, because I think we're misunderstood by the outside of Philadelphia world. Okay.
Mhm.
I feel like certain cities do. I feel like certain cities are kind of on par with us, like a New York. You never really hear like a New Yorker say, "Y'all treating the team bad." Like, if you
Right.
bad in New York, they'll let you know it in New York too.
Mhm.
And they got some passionate fans out there for their sports teams as well. Um, but if you're bad in Arizona, and your contract is if you're like one of the highest paid guys on the team and you play bad in Arizona, they're gonna let you know. Like I don't know, in Phoenix, I should say, are they gonna let you know? I don't know. I don't know where they at. In Dallas, like Cowboys fans, they love their team regardless of if you're doing bad or not, and they'll have your back just because you wear the star and they're stupid. Excuse me, I don't mean to offend any Cowboys fans. Actually, I do. I don't like y'all, but I love y'all. But it is what it is. But Alec Bohm, he owned it. He lived up to it. He pinched hit in the next game, got a standing O. Got on base, got and scored. I think he scored today too. I think I was watching the game. I fell asleep watching the game. Don't tell my wife because I told her I wasn't asleep, but she still changed the channel. I didn't know. um, but it is what it is. But the Phillies, I think they lost the game today. I know it was getting out of hand. I think when I fell asleep, it was like 8-3, something
It
along
was.
those.
I think the final score was 9-5, 9-6.
Okay, so there you go. They dropped two out of three to the Mets. Makes me want to throw up in my mouth a little bit. Um,
Yeah,
but
The Mets will choke in you know, they'll choke in
yeah,
September.
that's what we hope. That's what we hope. Talking baseball. I do want to toot my own horn a little bit, Coach, if I can.
Floor is yours.
And it's not really tooting my horn. It's really tooting the horn of the guys that I have the privilege of coaching. The guys won their first game yesterday. Um, in a good fair. It was a fun game to watch. There was a lot of people there. Probably one of the biggest crowds I've seen there for a baseball game in a very long time, if ever. And it was just it was a great feeling, a great situation, and for the first time ever in my life, I got emotional after a win. First time ever. First time ever. Now, we haven't had a season in 2 years. I got a lot going on, and it was just everything came down on me at once. I was just so very proud of the guys and the hard work that they've been putting in. I hope they continue to do so, knowing that, we still got a long ways to go. But, I hope they also understand that playoffs is very possible for us this year as well. So, congratulations to the Penwood Patriots baseball team on getting your first win of the season. And we're looking for many more to come this season. So
So,
that's the tooting. And that's all I'm gonna do. That's all I'm gonna say about
well,
it.
congratulations.
Some history was made last night. Some history in the MLB was made last night, and it wasn't even like a planned history, a
Yeah,
history making event. For the first
yeah,
time in MLB history, a woman, a female, what? Because females and women they're the same thing. They let me be careful. Let me be careful. I forgot. It's 2022. Let me be careful. Um, but for the first time, a woman was on the field coaching a baseball game. She was not the main manager. She was coaching first base. The first base coach, or this is for the San Francisco Giants. Now, the first base coach for the San Francisco Giants was ejected from the game, and she was the next person up. It was her. It was her time. She stepped into the role, and she had to. She did her thing. Um, Miguel, your thoughts on this history making his on this historic event?
well, congratulations to Alyssa Nakken. Um, it's it's I guess it's it's what's the term? The time has come. Um, for this to happen. Um, there's a place for females in the game. Uh, you know, I think I wish it was under slightly different circumstances because there is also like a slight controversy over.
Yeah, give us the history behind it. 'Cause I know you had the history in the notes, and I wanted you because I was reading it and made sense, and at the same time it was a little confusing at the same time. So give us the backstory on how this historic event came about.
So the Giants were playing the Padres, and the Giants were hammering them. They were up, I believe, 10-1 when this incident occurred. So early on, I believe it was like the second or third inning, they were winning heavy early. You have one of those unwritten rules. When you're up big, the two things you don't do is you don't bunt and you don't steal. Well, the Giants decided to steal, right? So this runner steals second. He winds up scoring a couple plays later. Inning is over. The first base coach heads to the dugout. And then the third base coach, I believe his name is Schild, who used to be the manager for the Cardinals. He made a comment, or I'm sorry, he was looking inside the dugout, in the Giants dugout, and the first base coach, Anton Richardson, who's from the Bahamas, yelled out, what are you looking at? Like, who are you looking for? And there was no response.
So okay, so help me understand. So the coach that was from the Bahamas that said that was the Padres coach yelling out to the
Yeah,
first base
right.
coach.
He was yelling. He was yelling. Or no, no, no. I'm sorry. Reverse it. The first base coach noticed that Shield was looking in. The Padres coach was looking in, and he's like, "Are you looking for somebody?" And then there was no response. So then finally, he said, "I'm looking for Alex Wood." So I believe they were part of the same team, whatever. And he yelled out, "You need to control this effing guy,"
Who
pointing
yelled that out?
the third base coach from the Padres, pointing
Okay,
to the Bohemian coach.
okay. So he was
So
referring to the coach from the Bahamas that was from the Bahamas
right,
when saying you need to control this guy.
right. So
Okay.
he comes out of the dugout and they kind of start jawing a little bit, but the umpire threw out Anton, the Bohemian coach from the Giants.
Okay, and he okay the one and he came out of the dugout.
Right, because he came out to the dugout and was trying to address what was going on with this coach. So Anton Richardson was thrown out allegedly because the umpire said he was instigating.
Hmm.
So there was like a little, he addressed it at a that and during the post game, and he believes that it had undertones of racism um, because of that comment. Like, you need to control this mf'er, is what he said.
Mhm.
Um, Gabe Kapler said, "I got his back. I need to do. I want to." He caught the tail end of the comment. He didn't believe that he was justified in being ejected. So he just said, "I got his back, and whatever needs to happen from here, he'll, investigate." So it's like, not to say that it's tainted, but there's a couple things going on to make this historical event happen, and you kind of wish it was just,
Wish it was organic.
you wish, right, you wish it was organic, kind of like uh, I think it was 1971 where the Pittsburgh Pirates were the first team to ever field an all black team in Major League history. And it was done against the Phillies, ironically, but it was a night game. But he's like, we have the team to do it, so let's do it. So it kind of came about, and it wasn't it wasn't covered by the press too much, but the coach at the time kind of made a point, like, this is a historical night, so something like that, so that way it's like it can be somewhat celebrated, it can be looked upon, because right now it's like, well, she's an assistant coach, and she came in because of somebody being ejected over a possible racially overtoned argument. A couple things going on there that I think, it wasn't clean, it wasn't smooth, it wasn't, like you said, organic. You know,
But it happened nonetheless. So congratulations to her, and I guarantee you that's so we're seeing a push in all professional sport. We talked about last week how um, having the NFL had set a rule about having a woman on the staff as part of their offensive staff or whatever the case may. I don't know why they made it why it has to be offense, but whatever. Um, but they made a push for that. NBA has had I think the NBA kind of started the at least in the media or publicly, the NBA started to push. They started hiring women for as their assistant coaches. I think the Spurs were the first one to do it with Becky Hammond. Greg Popovich hired Becky Hammond as an assistant coach, and then she became, I believe, the head coach of their G League affiliate, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I know that there was talk about when the Sixers were looking for a head coach. There was talk about Dawn Staley possibly filling that role. Congratulations to Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks winning the national championship in basketball. Um, I have a magazine here, and Miguel, you probably have the same one from the ABCA, where there are more women in professional baseball coaching now.
Mhm.
So there is a push. It's happening. And actually, there was a conversation on ESPN today with Stephen A. Smith where he said something about like men shouldn't even be coaching in the WNBA. The women should be coaching in the WNBA because there have already been plenty of opportunities for men to coach in other leagues.
Right.
So he wasn't saying like a discrimination type thing. He was saying these men have had opportunities, plenty of opportunities in other leagues to coach. I guess let the women have their just due in coaching in the WNBA. Um, I'm waiting for the day. I don't know if she would be interested, but I'm waiting for the day to see if Dawn Staley ends up coaching in the NBA. She's an amazing coach. She coached in the I think she was like an assistant coach in the WNBA, maybe. I know she played in the WNBA. She was like a player assistant in the USVL a long time ago when Philly had a team.
Mhm.
Um, so this push has been going on for a while now. But it's really coming to fruition now. You're seeing a little more equality in the sports with men and women. There are women that are plenty capable of coaching the man's game. You have softball players that you know they may play softball, but it's relatively the same sport.
Mhm.
Relatively, it's a lot of the techniques are the same. The rules are pretty much the same. Um, so we'll probably see more of that. I thought maybe one day we're going to see Jenny Fitch in the MLB coaching role, the star softball player from that played U.S. softball. But with all that being said, congratulations to her as we approach Jackie Robinson Day here in the MLB. And let me go ahead and take this break. As we approach Jackie Robinson Day here in the MLB, and I want to show you something, Miguel. I've always here we go. Let me show you something. So I don't know if anybody has ever noticed that I keep this picture behind me when we're doing a show. Picture of Jackie Robinson there, like an original. I'm not even gonna lie about what it is, but it's a picture of Jackie Robinson
Yeah.
right there. But then also I collect pop figures, so I got the Jackie Robinson pop figures as well. That I
Nice.
keep, trying to keep the glare off. There we go. That kind of keep with the picture. So um, shout out to Jackie Robinson Day and the MLB for celebrating it. I know the Drexel Hill Little League out here also celebrates it. Um, so it's a great event. That's actually the probably the first the movie 42, Miguel.
Yeah.
That's probably oops, sorry. That's probably the first movie that I kind of got emotional at the end. Now nothing came out, but I had the lump. I had the lump. You know the lump I'm talking about. I had the lump. So
Yeah.
it was just like it was that good of a movie. And it was great. And I have the original. I actually have the DVD of the original Jackie Robinson movie as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the
Which Jackie Robinson played himself.
yeah. How's that for confidence? Yeah. I'm gonna tell my story myself.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think the hardest part of that movie in 42. There was two real tough moments for me. The one where he's getting harassed or whatever, and he goes into the tunnel, and then he swings the bat on like everything, and then
mm-hmm.
goes back out and has to do it all over again.
Yeah,
And then unfortunately, that scene with the Philadelphia Phillies manager.
that made me not want to be a Phillies fan.
And you know what? You know because they wore the jerseys, my favorite jerseys, the cream jerseys. That was and I was like, ooh, they brought those jerseys back. but
I think the I want to say the lettering was slightly different though.
it's still the same.
Oh, shout out to the best trainer in the world, Ange. What's up, Ange? She says, yeah, Coach P
Edge.
for the Philadelphia Rage. It was the Philadelphia Rage. Thank you, Ange, in the ABL. That's what it was. The Philadelphia. I couldn't remember what they were called, but yeah, the Philadelphia Rage. So
Ange, I need my ankle taped, and I need my elbow taped as well.
I can hear Ange right now, like, yeah, I got you.
Right.
I got you. I got you. Just
Oh,
come to the office.
I know.
Uh, oh, and while so I don't forget, Miguel, this is actually not even for the show, but Coach V told me to tell you to get in touch with her. We had Coach V on the show before, and she told I saw her one day, and she was like, "Yeah, tell Miguel to contact me." So
Yeah.
I just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah. Bless.
So all right, so like I said, Miguel, I don't have the notes out, so I'm kind of swinging by the seat of my pants here. So help me out. What else we talking about today? Help
Well,
me
one
out.
thing. So the kind of piggybacking off of the historical event and the ejection.
Oh, hold on.
The,
Oh,
the
there's.
thing, the thing that kind of brought.
Oh, was I supposed to put that up?
That's fine. That's fine. It kind of goes into. It's a seg. I'm segueing.
Gotcha.
Um, it goes to that. So the events of that game were triggered by the quote unquote unwritten rules.
Yes. Yes.
So it's like even when it comes to throwing at a batter, there is a rule, and I forget the exact you know where it is in the rule book, but there is a rule that gives the umpire authority if they believe that a player is intentionally throwing at another player with the intent to injure, yada 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 yada. But sometimes what triggers those incidences are again those unwritten rules. You don't swing 3-0 when you're up 14-0. You don't stand and watch the ball as you're hitting it out of the park. You don't steal when you're up more than 5 runs. Why 5 runs? Who knows? You don't bunt when there's a no hitter. Blah 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 blah. And I
Well,
think that
go ahead, because
no, no, no. And I think when it comes to the players today, I think we're slowly kind of going away from all that stuff,
I
which
think so.
is good. If we can get this whole analytical thing under control and actually get runs scored and make the game exciting again, that'll be a plus. But I mean, unfortunately, it's a horrible example, but Trevor Bauer, before all the sexual assault, stuff happened last year.
I just
You know,
want to
he,
make. I just want to pull your attention to that comment right
I saw it. They bless you, Ange. Bless you, Ange. Appreciate you.
there.
Um, but it was
Your train of thought there.
yeah.
Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, Trevor Bauer. But he was the one that started kind of doing that. Whenever he got a strikeout, he would do the sword in the side or whatever and walk off. And then I think somebody hit a home run off of him, and I think they tossed the bat up in the air. They saluted, did all.
I thought they did the sword with the bat.
Well, they did that too, but he got rocked that day. So, but his response was, "Listen, like if you are battling there and you hit my best pitch, take the moment. Like, that's what this game's about. It's supposed to be fun. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
So, this whole thing about showing a pitcher up, he's like, you know, and going to the whole 3-0, hitting the home run 3-0, oh, you're up by 12, you know, everybody was like, if you can't throw a strike or you can't, what am I trying to say? If you aren't good enough to get anybody out, then that's on you.
Right.
It's like with Bill Belichick. There was a couple of years ago where the Patriots were just like beyond dominant, and he was up 40-0 on teams. Almost in the middle of the third quarter. So they're like, why are you running it up? He's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Stop playing? Like, if you're not good enough to stop me, go to hell home. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think I think where it becomes gray is when like you do start mouthing off, like you start hitting homer, then you start jawing. It's like, all right, that needs to stop. But if you're just
Mhm.
doing, if you're having fun, like have fun.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely. I agree. And I really think like a lot of the unwritten rules come from, especially in baseball, come from the kid game. Like let's say like back in the early 1900s, of course it was considered the gentleman's game in a sense, kind of like how golf is the gentleman's game. Um, and there was the unwritten. I think that's kind of how the unwritten rules came about. I kind of disagree with almost all the unwritten rules, except for the state. Like at the high school level, I don't disagree with. Like if you're up by a whole lot of run, like if you're stealing on me when you're up by a whole lot,
yeah, but
the sportsmanship aspect, you're still trying kind of teach the young men. Once you get into the pro ranks and even the college ranks, that goes out the window to me.
yeah,
Not saying that I would try to run it up, not saying that I would steal, with the 12 run lead or anything like that. But there, I think swing it on a 3-0 count. Why not?
right,
Bunting when there's a no hitter. Why not? You know what I mean? Um, though, and I know this from purists, and I kind of consider myself somewhat of a purist of the game of baseball. There's some purists that will probably completely disagree with me, but it's a lot. Some of the unwritten rules have taken some of the fun out of the game. Like this, baseball is a boring game, and it needs some type of flash. Do you remember when they executed or eliminated? I should say eliminated the NFL the touchdown dancing,
right.
and then they had certain rules for it. And it was just like then they started calling it the no fun league. Like you dance too much, you show people up, you get a penalty. Well, if you don't want them to dance, keep them out of the end zone.
There you go.
That's just what I say. But keep them out of the end zone if you don't want them to dance, right?
Right.
And then what happened once they bought the celebrations back? Do you know what happened again when they bought the celebrations back?
I believe ratings went up. I believe revenue went up.
I'm talking about the Eagles won the Super Bowl when they bought the celebration. Eagles won the Super Bowl.
What was the
So,
best dance that year? Was it the everybody doing the electric slide, or was it the bowling one?
ooh, that's a good question.
I got
The bowling one is always good the first time,
yeah, 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 yeah.
but unless you do it consistently, like if you do it like everything, like if it's a pick six and the defense want to go out and that's what your celebration is for the pick six, I'm
Right.
cool with that. But when they get out there and do the electric slide, they all doing the same thing at the same time. Boom, boom.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty dope. I
yeah.
like the electric slide. Hopefully one day they bring the Cupid shuffle out there. It's gonna be dope too.
I hope they do. I hope they start doing that in baseball. To be quite honest with you.
I would love for them to allow celebrations in baseball and for people to not get butthurt about it. And let's
Well,
be honest, the people that get butthurt are the pitchers.
watch some college games because there's some stuff going on at the college games, especially the rivalry, the conference games. Because I was watching some ACC games and I was like, I swear I saw somebody like doing cartwheels and stuff, but it was just intense. And I'm like, you know what? That's what's missing.
I actually sent you I think I sent it to you. I know I probably posted it on my social media. It was a college game. I want to say it was Houston. I don't remember who else they were playing. I don't remember who they were playing. I think the guy that hit the home run was on Houston. And he hit the ball and he kind of stood there and watched it for a minute.
Hmm.
And it was the one where he hit the ball, it was a home run, he watched it for a minute and then he took off running around the bases. And actually when he when he hit first base and
Yeah,
he tripped and fell, he face planted. But
and,
the next batter caught it. Like the next batter caught the punishment. They threw at him. The next batter.
right,
And
and because they thought him sliding in the first was intentional.
you think that's why they did? I thought they did it because he stood there. But he didn't slide in the first. It was after he hit first. He face planted after he rounded first.
That's what I'm saying. But the way if you depending on which angle you're looking at it, and depending on the emotion and what you're dealing with at that moment, from the side, it may look like he was doing it, as an extra celebratory kind of act.
Ah,
So that's the way that I kind of
that was
because because
definitely
when he's rounding the bases, that's when the player started kind of jawing a little bit. Not when he looked at the ball, but you saw more of the jar because I mean I saw where he tripped, but it could have been construed as like one of those "oh I fell over" kind of thing, like he was doing it in jest.
I think he did it on purpose.
Right. So that I think that's what kind of spawned the
Maybe.
activities thereafter.
Maybe. We'd like to hear your opinion on it. Hit us up 669-275-0323. That's 669-275-0323. Um, there are a lot of opinions on things that have been going on that we've been talking about today. The unwritten rules in baseball, the Jackie Robinson Day, the first female coach to coach on the field of a baseball game. What you got there, Miguel? Which what we pulling up there? Should I go ahead and pop that in? We ready for
Sure.
that? Oh, this one.
So 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 so
I know your head was going to explode when you saw this.
you know what though I may have to take some stuff back only because it's a perfect game. There's only been 24 Major League history. Okay, so so today Clayton Kershaw was throwing a perfect game going into or he had 80 pitches after seven, retired 21 consecutive batters. He's had a no hitter before, yes, but a perfect game is like historical, you know.
Yes.
And they pulled them. Now, of course, Clayton Kershaw wasn't mad about it. He kind of put it on the fact that there was a lockout and spring training was only about 2 weeks, so he didn't have to get his, you know, pitchers do have a repertoire to kind of build up, so that way by the time opening day starts, they could go to that 90, 100 pitch mark. Um, and I was talking to my coaches about it, and one of them who's intending to be my pitching coach for the summer team that I'm coaching, kind of took that into account. Like, listen, like, this wasn't your normal start to the season when you have the lockout. You're building up from January, or yeah, from January, you're building up a routine, to gradually, add more pitches to your start. And they were robbed of that. So it's like I'm dealing with that emotion, and then the emotion of it's a perfect game. I had it's the same emotion I had, even though the other one is more justified. It's Blake Snell, Game 6 of the World Series, and you have a shutout through six, and you take him out because he's got a pitch count, and it's going to be the last game that he pitches for the next 8 months. But you take him out because of pitch count.
Yeah. So I'm sure you know where I stand with this. Listen, perfect. A lot. We tend to have over the past few years. We tend to have a lot of no hitters in the earlier games of the season. Um, he's pitching a perfect game. Like you said, there's only been 24. Should have been 25. But there's only been 24 in the history of the league.
That's right. That should have been 25.
It should be 25 at this point. Um, and there is a history when I think about when they said it was Clayton Kershaw. There's a history of Clayton Kershaw kind of fizzling out playoff time.
And he was injured last year. He was injured last year. Had to miss the
It's big.
postseason. Well, you know.
It's a perfect game. Give him an
Because
extra day's rest if you want. Like I know the routine. I know that sounds stupid for people that understand the game of baseball. There's routine. There's certain. He was 80 pitches in after seven.
after seven.
So he was kind of right there on par for kind of where you want to be, right?
Right.
Let him finish it out. If he gives up a hit, take him out. If he gives up a walk, take him out. But give him the chance to make history.
Right.
Um,
But even Kershaw himself was like he agreed with, like it says there, it's the right decision.
and that's great because I'm glad that he feels that way because um, I'm glad that he feels that way because if he felt like he should have stayed in, then I would absolutely say he should have stayed in. But that kind of gives me the vibe of he was tired and he felt like he probably needed to come out. Um, what's up to my man Vibe? I know who it is. I ain't gonna put his name out there. Oh, and he just put his name in there, so I'll go ahead and say, "What up, Jack?" I knew exactly who it was. What up, brother? It's one of my teammates from Eastern Shore. Um, one of my homies. So appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you checking us out. Let us share us with your friends. Um, Clayton Kershaw, perfect game. Like that's probably just like one of the things he's missing from his resume. He's a Hall of Fame pitcher, right? I mean, he probably will be Hall of Fame, right? First ballot, probably. I mean,
Yeah, I
he's
would think
probably
so.
he's one of the top. He's one of the top 10, if not top 5, if not top 3 pitchers of his career span. You got Verlander, you got Scherzer, you got I know I'm forgetting a lot, but I mean he was around when Roy Halladay was around. Um, Cliff Lee, you got a lot of guys. I don't even want to start going down that list, but he's definitely a Hall of Famer. Just another feather in the cap, something else to put in the Hall of Fame for him. But the fact that he was okay with it, at least he said he was okay with it, tells me that he was probably feeling the fatigue, and he was probably ready to come out. It's just unfortunate for him that it happened this early in the season. I'm wondering if it would happen in July or August, would they have still done the same thing?
I doubt
Because
it.
because I also wonder if in September when Clayton Kershaw starts to when he gets to the playoffs and he starts to you know I hate to say fizzle out with Clayton Kershaw, but he has that history. Except for the year they won the World Series, he has that history of not really showing up in the playoffs that well.
Right.
Wonder if they would do it late in the season too, just to keep his pitch count low, to keep him, you know, ready
Fresh
for the
for the,
playoffs.
yeah, fresh for the playoffs.
D mindset, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you
Yeah.
checking us out. Um, so I'm getting messages all over the place, Miguel. I'm sorry, I got messages coming in on my phone, um, all that good stuff. But
Nothing from Russia or China like the last time.
no, I think maybe they got the idea, but then again, I could be wrong. We'll see. How let us know what you think about what we're talking about today. Hit us up 669-275-0323. That's 669-275-0323. I'm gonna start. We're approaching that time, Miguel, and my wife told me we should stop. Not just you and I, but we should stop talking about how much time we got left in the show and just do it. So I'm not going to say how much time we got left in the show because we own the platform, so we just go for how long we want.
I was gonna say we kind of paid for that, right?
We go for as long as we want, so it's all good. Devin Polk, Devin Polk, what up, Devin Polk? He was one of the alums that was at the game. There was quite the alumni. There was a lot of alumni at the game yesterday that I talked about. Shout out again to the Penwood baseball team, getting the first win of the season yesterday. There was a lot of alums there, man. A lot of alums. So I
Love it.
appreciate everybody for coming
Love
out.
it.
Appreciate the team for doing their thing. Um,
Shout out to Devin Polk for being awake.
yeah, we were talking about how you was getting on him too the other day too.
That
We were
was
talking.
his. What was his? He always had an excuse for why he was late for practice, and it was never viable. I think wasn't it one time he was late because they missed up a sandwich at Wawa,
You'd have to ask him. I don't remember that one. I was going to make one up on the fly, but I
and
don't
then
remember.
and I think Jacquez was like, "Yo, if you don't got the right cheese on it, man, it ain't gonna work out well." I was like, "Shut up! Like this is you're supposed to be at practice."
I don't know. We've had some. We've had. Oh, here's one. Here's one that I definitely remember. He missed the game one time because he fell asleep.
Right.
I do remember that for sure,
Still
and
riding
we've
the
had
wave.
conversation about that one too.
Hmm.
But we actually got some of the Penwood baseball team checking us out tonight, Miguel. So
That's awesome.
what's up, guys? What's up? Appreciate y'all for checking us out on the Check Swing podcast. We had some more on the agenda, right? We that we
That's
were
fine.
going.
We can because we can push that off to next week. It's fine.
All right, we'll push it off the next. What you got up here right here? Do I need to pop this in? What's this?
I mean, we can talk about it if you would like.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We'll talk about that, and then we'll go into you stumping me,
You got it.
and then I got some type of some questions for you too.
Fantastic.
Um, so the device you're looking at here is we've seen the Phillies using it. We've seen there are I think there's only like two teams that are not using this as of yet.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, so it's a technology built by a company called Pitchcom. Um, it's actually kind of customizable to what you want to use it for. So, like in this example, it's pretty much pitcher catcher swap, sharing signs in the non-traditional way. So that black pad that you see with the little dots that looks kind of like braille um, is you would select that option, and it should, I believe, from what I understand, it either lights up or vibrates. Um,
well, actually, what they explained on the Phillies broadcast this past weekend was that when he presses a button and his voice actually comes through on to the pitcher, the catcher's voice. I guess they recorded a whole bunch of stuff. The voice comes through to the pitcher, to the second baseman, and to the shortstop,
right,
and
and
it says like fastball inside.
I think some are allowing the earpieces. I've seen
Right.
that as well. So of course everybody's nervous because pretty much anything can be hacked. Um, so I think they're kind of waiting for that moment. And also, I think the Giants are started to use it's the Giants use it for pitching, um, and I think the Dodgers don't use it for pitching. They use it actually for defensive sequences or defensive positioning.
Mhm.
It actually failed with the Giants. I think there was a pitch they got crossed up. It was supposed to be like a slider down or whatever,
Okay.
and the wrong pitch was either signaled or it just didn't come through correctly. So they're kind of working out some of the kinks because it's not like 100% foolproof. But other than that one incident, it's pretty much been flawless.
It can be, and I'm gonna get back to the. It can be very dangerous when the pitcher and catcher gets crossed up.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I remember playing a game at the University of Maryland, and it was a night game. It was a doubleheader. First game was in the daytime, and it was dark during the second game. And our catcher throws down curveball. No, I'm sorry. Catcher throws down fastball. The pitcher, because of the shadows and stuff, thought he threw down a curveball.
Woo.
So he throws the curveball, and of course, it starts out high.
Hmm.
Our catcher stood straight up because he thought it was about to. It was a looping curve. It was a guy that wasn't really even a pitcher, but it was a looping curveball. So it came up, and he stood up, and that thing broke. And if he wasn't as tall as he was, I'm sorry, it was a good thing he wasn't taller than he was because it could be a whole different type of conversation. Tell you that right now.
Soprano.
Whoo-wee, let me tell you. But it can be very dangerous getting crossed up. So I'm not mad at this device.
Mhm.
I'm not. I'm sure it can be hacked. It's technology, but that's when you get creative because signs can also be stolen. So that's when you get creative with your signs, first and third sign. I could say fastball in the dirt, but it could really mean curveball. Curveball in the dirt.
Right, and it kind of takes away that necessary communication. Like sometimes the catcher will come out, and I think now you're limited on visits. So the catcher will come and say, "All right, we're going to go with the third sign indicator." So I'll go like 1, 2, 3, and then the third sign is the pitch, and then come back out. So all right, we're going to switch it to the second sign. You know what I mean? It
Right.
eliminates the need for all that.
Mhm.
And one of the biggest I guess you can say arguments for it is that it also could help with pace of play, because again that eliminates the need to kind of do any field signs. So some teams are using, again, not communication between pitcher and catcher, but between coach and defense. So
Yeah.
now we can all look down and say, all right, we're going to do the shift, or we're going to shade to the left, 2 steps to the right. We're going to go corners in, middle double play. So you can use it in any kind of facet that you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this affects the game. It'll be interesting to see if it lasts. Um, it's I guess this year is kind of more so of a trial period, but it's it's funny that they had to do this because signs were getting stolen. That's kind of part of the game. I know they partially use technology to steal the signs, and that's out of bounds as far as I'm concerned.
Right,
But stealing signs is part of the game. I tell guys, like, even though they may or may not do it, I tell guys all the time. We've had guys on our teams that pick up signs from the other coaches.
right,
You know what I mean? If your signs are that easy to pick up, that's your fault.
right.
It just is. Um, but that is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't, and it'll be what it'll be. Um, so it's about that time. Shutting down the phone lines right now. Let me go ahead and shut this down. Shutting down the
Tell
phone.
tell tell Ange to call in next time.
I'll let her know. And this is the part of the show where Miguel stumps me because I don't know anything.
You
And we're,
know,
we're in baseball. Oh my god, a one-time All-Star, and he played for that many teams. I'm supposed to figure this out.
yeah, you'll get it.
And this was it's baseball, right?
It's baseball, yes.
Baseball. Let's see: Seattle Mariners, Dodgers, Rays,
Not
Phillies, Yankees, Nationals.
okay. Hold
Yeah,
on.
I'm guessing. I'm just kind of looking at what it might be. But
So the first one, two, three, four. The first four numbers were actually for the same team.
Mariners.
Correct. Actually, the first four numbers and the other 28 in the same color were all the Mariners.
Okay.
I guess he was just that friendly. He shared his number a lot. So he played for Seattle, Kansas City, Philadelphia, the Los Angeles Angels, and the New York Yankees.
So he only played for four teams,
Five.
five teams. The Angels, Yankees, Nationals, Phillies.
Why do you keep changing the team?
What did I change? What did I say? What did I say? All right. So the Mariners, the Phillies, the Yankees, the Royals, Sorry, the Royals,
The Angels.
and the Angels. I was about to say Nationals again, and the Angels. What
you like
position
you like Tampa Bay. He was an outfielder.
is there a reason why there's a red dot on the Yankees one?
No, I think I was using the crop tool and it just spit red real quick.
Okay. Um, you said he was an outfielder.
Correct.
What is the time span of his career?
He played 19 years between the mid 90s and the mid 2010s.
And made one All Star game.
Correct.
What year did he make the All? Never. That really doesn't matter because I have no idea what it is. Um, he's an outfielder. No other. This must be a popular player because you never give me somebody with such small accolades.
His only All Star team was with the Phillies.
We already had Shane Victorino.
That is correct.
His only All Star team, and he was an outfielder with the Phillies.
That is correct.
Can I have the nationality? Can I have the city of origin? Can I have the can I have the phonetic spelling? What is his nationality?
New York.
Oh,
Um,
the Mariners, the Royals, the Angels, the Phillies, and the Yankees, and he's an outfielder. And it's not McCutcheon because McCutcheon's still playing. Well, he's not.
and McCutcheon was and McCutcheon was an MVP.
McCutcheon was an MVP. The Yankees, the Angels. I can go ahead and eliminate the Angels because I literally can't think of. He obviously didn't play for the Angels when they beat the Giants in the World Series.
That is correct.
Um, is there any more clues? This is a tough one. It's got to be somebody popular because you've never given me one that he was just a one time All Star and played had so many jersey numbers. And he's an outfielder. I'm stuck. I'm stuck on this one. I don't know if anybody's watching can help me out, but I'm stuck on this one. 29 for the Phillies. Bobby Abreu?
Incorrect. Abreu was 53.
Did he play on the Phillies team with Bobby Abreu?
No.
Okay, who was on the team? Who was on the Phillies when he played for the Phillies?
Shane Victorino.
Got it. I got it. I think I got it. Is it Raul Ibanez? No, because he would have won the World Series, right?
Bang.
Oh, it's Raul.
He
Yes.
was he was on the 2009 Phillies because he replaced.
He was on the team that lost the World Series.
Correct. He replaced.
Jason Worth. No, it wasn't Jason Worth he replaced.
He replaced.
Not Scott Rowland. Pat Burrow.
Yes, he replaced Pat Burrow. You are correct, sir.
Wow. Wow. All right. I feel good about myself. It took me forever. Raul Ibanez. How about that? And the year that he played for the Phillies, I was actually part at UPS, and the supervisor I had always called him Raul Ibanez because there's a guitar, Ibanez guitar, so he always called him Raul Ibanez, and I always wanted to smack him,
That was
but
rude. That was rude.
you can't just smack people for no reason.
Well, it's rude and or ignorant, but
So here we go. I'm mixing up the cards for you. I think I want to give you all three questions on the card because I got so many cards here. We may never even get through them all. Well, we'll probably have to be on for years and years and years to get through all the questions on here, which is possible, but I'll probably buy new cards by the time that happens. So
the answer is Kyle Drabeck.
I'm taking this card here. I don't know what the category is. I hope it works out for you. Oh, it's going to work out for you because the category is baseball.
Jim Lindemann.
So the 1 point question: which city is not the named home to what? Okay, hold on. Let me start over. I can read. Which city is not the named home to both an American League and National League team?
What?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. Do you want? It's a multiple choice. Do you want the
Wait,
choices? Do you want to read
I,
that again?
I think I know what the question's trying to ask. Ask.
Okay, as I look at this, you'll get this, and I understand what it's asking as I see the multiple choice on it. You'll definitely get this. So
Okay.
I'm going to read this again, and I'm going to give you the multiple choice because it doesn't make sense unless you have the multiple choice answers. Which city is not the named home to both an American League and National League team? Here are your choices: Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York. Come
Say
on
the.
now.
Say the.
Still not understanding the question?
Yeah, I got. I'm still stuck on trying to repeat the question, so I forget. I forgot the answers.
Which city is not the named home to both an American League and a National League team? Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York. I can change the question up
Oh
to
no, it's San Francisco.
okay. I can change the question up to make you completely understand
No,
what
no,
it's saying.
because what I was thinking was the not the name, not the. I wasn't hearing the league, and I kept thinking of where the name wasn't like they were like I was thinking Dodgers because that was the original name for Brooklyn when they were in Brooklyn. I kept messing myself up. So I
Okay.
was gonna say Los Angeles, but then when it's all right, it's two
Yeah, you were
American.
thinking way too deep. This is. I think these are questions for people that are probably not as good as you when it comes to baseball history. So here we go. Question number two. Which MLB team holds the record for winning the most World Series championships with 27 victories? Do you
That would
even
be the
need
New York Yankees, right?
the do you even need the okay. This one, you're going to get this one too.
Wait a minute, I just realized how come I get a few questions and you only get one?
Because they're like all easy.
Okay,
And
go
and, and these are made for you. I didn't have to build anything for these. I just pulled these out of a box.
ahead. I got you.
Here it is, out of a box. This one will be easy for you. This one would not have been easy for me. Which year did the Miracle Mets win the first World Series championship in franchise history?
1969.
Correct. Should I give you the next three on the other side or save those for another day?
What does the clock say? Not a damn thing. Go for it.
Which team won the NL West from 1990? Which team won the NL West from 1991 to 93 and the NL East, this is easy, from 95 to 2005? That's
Oh,
easy.
the Braves.
Absolutely.
You're
And don't give,
stupid, Atlanta
don't give me
Braves.
no crap. Don't give me no crap about being a Braves fan when I was a kid.
You were mixed up as a child.
I was Braves and Phillies. I told you why. I've explained many times why. Many times. Which team won MLB's first modern World Series in 1903?
The New York Giants.
That is not correct. It was one of the choices, but it's not correct.
Pittsburgh Pirates?
Also not correct. Would
What
you
are they?
like the multiple choice answers?
Yes, I would.
The Philadelphia A's, the New York Giants, the Boston
I said the
Americans,
New York
the
Giants.
Pittsburgh Pirates. Huh?
I said the New York Giants.
And you were wrong. And you would still be wrong if you said it again.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I forgot the response. I'm sorry. All right, can you repeat the choices again, please?
Philadelphia A's, New York Giants, Boston Americans, Pittsburgh Pirates.
So it wasn't the Pirates. It wasn't Boston Americans.
Boston Americans is correct. And the answer is also in the chat.
Oh, was it?
Here is your last question. Which player threw the third no-hitter of his career on September 1st,
Start
20?
again. Start. I'm sorry. Start again. Take two.
Yeah.
All I hear was my mom. My mom. I'm losing it. I'm sorry.
Okay. Which player threw the third no-hitter of his career on September 1st, 2019 against the Toronto Blue Jays? Do you want the multiple
Third.
choice choices? The multiple choices?
Was that Verlander?
Verlander is correct.
Cool. 'Cause
Stump the Schwam. He can't stump you.
I gotta get the turban. No, is that racially insensitive now? You know how Johnny Carson had Karnak the Magnificent.
Yeah. Yeah, that probably wouldn't fly today. Actually, I read an article um about, and this is not sports related, but I read an article about you remember the show, That 70s Show,
Yeah.
that was out like in the 90s or early 2000, whenever it was out. So there was a character on that 70s show named Fez. Fez was a
Okay.
virgin and all he thought about was sex all the time.
Mhm.
And the article talked about how this one joke or skit or whatever you want to call it from that '70s show wouldn't fly today. And it was Fez was talking about one of the guys having sex with his girlfriend with the lights out, and then without her knowing, they switch places. So then this guy now Fez is having sex with the guy's girlfriend, and it's supposed to be a joke, but I guess it worked back then. Wouldn't fly today.
Right.
Wouldn't fly today. So there you have it, y'all. There you have it. I'm hungry. I am. I don't think I ate since this morning. I think about it.
What's
Uh,
what's your go to late night snack?
Whatever I can find and juice. Whatever I can find and juice. Actually, I'm probably going like I might eat dinner. I might be up for. I got to edit a video. I'm not working tonight, but I got to edit a video and get things going. Set up for the weekend. So yeah, I might just go ahead and eat regular food.
Yeah, it sounds like
What's your go-to late night snack?
huh? Mine is usually between Oreo cookies and turkey hoagie.
You can you say turkey hoagie?
Yeah.
That's a big contrast. Oreo cookies or turkey hoagie.
It depends on how big the snack needs to be.
Listen, if you live or from Philadelphia or been around Philadelphia, you know you can go to Wawa and get a turkey hoagie any time of the night. So, you know, you probably go to Royal Farms and get one, right?
Oh my god, I
You
don't
don't go
know.
to Royal Farms?
I've gone to Royal Farms to get like the chicken in the box.
Appreciate it, vibe. Um, oh,
Hey, bro.
you know what? But that is not a chicken box from Royal Farms. In my
You're
in my
right. You're right. No, you're right.
not a chicken box. It's just what you said, chicken in a box. It's not
Right.
a chicken box. But man, I want to go to Wawa and get a turkey hoagie.
I apologize.
It's all right. We should have more conversations like this.
We should.
My man Jack said it's chicken and wedges. Yeah, that is what it is. And I
I
don't even
can't.
eat the wedges.
I can't do the wedges. They're just too.
Potatoey.
Yeah.
I can eat the crispy part on the outside, but it's too potato. I can
It's
eat
too,
like the ends of them, but once you get in the center, it's like,
and sometimes it's not like if it's crispy, it's much better
crispy.
than what. Yeah.
I might go to Royal Farms
You might
now.
go to Royal Farms. There's like
It's infiltrating the area, so
for the amount of Wawas that are in Pennsylvania, double that for the Royal Farms that are down here in Beemore.
oh yeah, Royal Farms is a doggone entity in Maryland.
You know
And
what's a close second?
in that area,
Yeah,
what?
hip hop chicken and fish.
Oh, now it's hip hop chicken and fish.
Yes,
Okay, I've never had it.
I've never
Never.
had it. I've just been told about this seasoning that they put on it. It's like this base with like
It's
seasoning on it.
magic dust.
Yeah, magic dust, crystal, yeah, all that stuff.
My man Jack said hip hop is everywhere. So I don't know if Jack still lives in Baltimore, but I know he did. He was from Georgia.
Okay.
Went to Eastern Shore, and I know he was living in Baltimore for a while. Hey, appreciate y'all checking this out, man. Jack checking this out from the Twitter. A lot of people checking this out from the YouTube and the Facebook. Appreciate
We
y'all, man.
got fans.
Definitely appreciate y'all. But right now we're gonna get out of here. We appreciate y'all checking us out the Check Swing Podcast. Make sure you share this with your friends and your family and your enemies, and let everybody know that we are here and we are having some fun on this show. We're gonna have a little bit more fun next week because is next week gonna be a long week with us having these 3 games. Let me tell you that. I'll probably be tired when I do the game. I mean, when I do the show next week. So, but I'll still do it. Doesn't matter. Anyway, we gonna get out of here. You have something you want to say?
No, just have your hoagie and your juice, and you'll be fine during the show.
You don't say nothing.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate y'all hanging with us for the Check Swing Podcast. We talk to y'all next week, same time, same place, right here on New Twist Radio. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, New Twist Radio YouTube channel. Go there right now, subscribe. If you haven't done so, make sure you do it. Also, you can subscribe to us on Twitch. If you're not following us on Twitch, follow us on Twitch, Facebook, all Twitter, all that good stuff, and also the Check Swing PC on Twitter. Yes, Check Swing PC on Twitter. Check Swing Show on Instagram. Make sure you check us out and email us at checkswingshow@gmail.com. For Miguel, myself, and everybody here at New Tools Radio, we'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.
Deuce.